Where's the love? Where's the love? It's right here in the heart of the city. I'm Silas Grant, and we back at it. Got my man with me.
What's up, Joe?
What's up? Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, home. Been a minute.
Man, it's been a minute. Rain, snow, all this stuff, and keeping us away from the microphone, man.
I'm telling you, man. We had to lock in today, even it's brutally cold. We had to lock in today, though.
I think last night was the most cold day of the winter.
Yeah, so far.
I think so.
Yeah. Yeah, they say the night, though, supposed to get down.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was like that little wind chill. And yeah. But we ain't really had a winter about 2-3 years, like a real winter, in my opinion. I remember last year around Christmas, we got that little Arctic blast. But anyway, the snow yesterday, you know what I'm saying? Or was snow yesterday or the day before?
2 days ago.
Yeah, but I felt good. I felt good to see snow, you know what I mean? Especially for the young. So anyway. Yeah, it was cool, man. 2024, I'm ready for it, man.
Ready for it, man. Yeah. Ready for it. I saw you put online, you manifesting this thing. You said book deal, Emmy.
Yeah, man. Yeah, and probably new book deal. You know, either Emmy or Oscar, right? So we go TV, Emmy. We go movie, Oscar. That's what I'm looking at. You know, and that might not come to the following year or whatever, but you know, just putting those things in motion, putting that in the air. Yeah. You know what it is, you know what I'm saying? And for real, you know, this definitely, you know, wishful thinking. But I do, in the conversations that I've had, right, as it relates to potential projects, as, you know, based on, you know, our lives, you know what I'm saying? One could say it really is, you know, it could really be two separate things. You know, two separate stories. You know what I'm saying? Of course, both my dad and I will be intertwined into both. But for real, like, I probably would prefer it that way, honestly. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Because I don't know if you could capture his story ain't mine and my story ain't his. But then we got a story together, if that makes sense.
So it could be three. Actually.
It really could be three. Yeah. It just depends on, you know, what I in the conversations that I've had though, right? This is what I think is interesting to me. But I don't really have, because I get it. I don't really have on his face an issue, but I just think it's interesting where you say, what story would America want the most? And if we had to pick, what do you think will get the most traction, the most steam behind it? Would it be the drug dealer story, my dad's rise and fall? Just put that plain, right? Versus the son of the rise and fall person rising to become the key that unlocks him from a life sentence, all while helping so many other people, right? What does America and his trials and tribulations and me dealing with the growing up in the crack era and gun violence and my mom's mental health and, you know what I'm saying, his incarceration and, you know, so on and so forth, right? What's more, you know what I mean? Does the in America, I think the feel good, but with only other caveat that I've been trying to voice in some of these conversations though is it's like my story ain't it got sex, drugs, and rock and roll. You know what I'm saying?
Your story.
My story. Right? If that's what you're looking for, right? I'm just saying, but it's positive though throughout though. Before it come on top and don't no white person come save you. It's like, well, we really get out the mud.
Yeah, I was gonna. I mean, we talked about that for years, right?
Yeah.
But I think to that point, now that you brought race into it, the first thing came to my mind as you were talking was that if this were an Italian kid, it would be a love story,
God, bro.
Right?
No question.
It would be. I think a kid who comes out of a crime family and makes it right, rights the wrongs of his lineage, his predecessors, I think they would accept that. I think we've been pigeonholed. We talked about this several episodes ago, just the imagery specific to our people.
Correct. And what people expect from us. Like, you know, when I was on the Breakfast Club, I said that, like, this the Godfather gone the right way.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? Like, in a very literal way. Like, it's what, like, if you watch The Godfather, Michael was supposed to be the person that took the family legit. You feel what I'm saying? Because of circumstances he couldn't. And the rest of his life in parts 2 and part 3, especially part 3. Part 3 is all about him. You know, that famous scene. Every time I get out and try to he was really trying to, he still wanted to make his dad proud by eventually taking the Corleone family legit. And it's like I took my family legit, not just on my like in reference to my dad, but you know my family, my mother's family. You know what I'm saying? Like my big homies, my block. Like I took us legit. You know what I'm saying? But again, it's just interesting in the conversation that I've had. But either way, you know me. Like I'm gonna continue to and I wanna put something in the world that has substance, that you know that can move people. And that's why I see a movie or a TV show involving us got the depth to be Oscar winning or Emmy winning, at least Oscar nominated or Emmy nominated, not just like no quote unquote movie that's just for the hood, or no, you know, cult favorite or nothing like that.
Just for the sake of being on screen.
Yeah, or just to
some
say
people would just do that. Yeah.
Ain't nobody interested in that. You know what I'm saying? I think you know, that's what's the beauty of Slug being there. Slug exists. That's my intellectual property. That's whatever happens, whether it's that way or this way, it's still got to be based on what's there, and what's there is written in a way and from a perspective, again, that has layers to it. It ain't just no topical, you know what I'm saying? Even in the part with my dad, you know what I'm saying, and his, you know, getting in the game, blah blah blah. You know what I'm saying? That still has humanity in it. It got context in it. You understand what I'm saying? And I think so many different parts of our life on screen would just be so incredibly cinematic, dog. You know what I'm saying? Like things that really ain't never been portrayed, you know, on screen. You know what I'm saying? I know that, you know, I got so many other things, even things that didn't make it to the page, right, that could make it, you know, on film. But even the things that's in Slug, it's just, when I wrote it, I was writing it in a way, you know, and you know, working with Kev, but writing in a way I wanted people to be able to see it then. I wanted you to see it on the page. You know what I'm saying? I want to put you right there. Yeah. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, man. So I'm excited about that. And you know, in terms of the new book situation, I just was thinking about like a Slug Part 2, or it might even be just you know, do the audio book of a Slug, but like maybe add some chapters to it. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause I got it. It's a new ending, bro. You know what I'm saying? you know what I mean? It's so many things that has happened since 2013. How many years is it?
Okay, I was about to ask you.
Last sentence was written in 2013. So yeah, 2024, man. You know,
you could do a 10. Well, it's now 11, but you could do a 10-year anniversary edition.
Yeah.
Because that ending changed in 10 years.
Big time. Yeah. Big time. You know what I'm saying? I mean, if pretty much, you know, the Slug ends with, you know, the mantra pretty much of, you know, fighting. The dad deserved to come home, and then Isabella's birth. You know what I'm saying? Right. Really was, you know what I mean, and what we wanted to try to impact the world in a way that is better for her. I wasn't married. Sophie wasn't here. You know what I'm saying? My grandmother was still alive. My Uncle Alvin was still alive. My Uncle Boo was still alive. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, it's some real significant things that have happened. Obviously, my dad was still incarcerated. You know what I'm saying? So a whole lot has happened in the last 11 years. You know what I mean? Yeah, bro.
I saw you make that declaration publicly about that being your you know, your target, right? You're aiming for that. And as you mentioned, it might not happen this year, but at least we're gonna start chipping away at getting there, right? It's the top of the year, our first episode for 2024, and I'm sure a lot of people have their goals, whether they be lofty goals or like very reachable, attainable goals, resolutions. A lot of people are doing the dry January with the drinking. I mean, no drinking. People are doing like the Daniel fast with their churches. You know, I'm doing 75 hard. Hallelujah. Yeah. So, I know a lot of people admire both of us for things we've accomplished, and not just accomplishments, but just how we sustain every day being in the fight, so to speak, and getting things done. And you don't have to keep it restricted to those goals you mentioned, but just in general, what is your mindset when you set out to do something? I mean, obviously you've done the insurmountable things like getting your dad free, changing laws, locally, nationally, you've been able to have impact. When you look at one thing and you say, this is something I'm aiming at, like, what's the thought process for you with that?
For me, bro, it's always that I believe that it can happen.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I really think fundamentally, I believe it. May not be nobody else around me that believe it with me, but I believe it. Like, I believe that can happen. Like, just saying, I believe that a story based on my life could win an Emmy. If an adaptation of it is put on TV, or we can win an Oscar if adaptation of it is made into a movie. I believe that. I think that's because if you don't believe it, right, I think it impacts on how you engage it, right? I think you'll be haphazard if you don't really believe it can happen. You know what I'm saying? So if that's like, I'm gonna lose 30 pounds, or I'm not drinking this month, right? If you go into it like, damn, man, I want to do dry January, I'm gonna do dry January. But I know I got these 4 work happy hours, and I'm gonna feel jive and birds if everybody else drinking and I ain't drinking. But versus saying, I'm this dry January, I'm going to the happy hour, but I'm gonna get a sparkling water, or I'm gonna get a Coke, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And what so you gotta be engaged something, believing that it can actually happen. And you know what I mean? That's how you chart your course, and then you have to plan for it. I think sometimes you talk, like, people may look at us and, you know, we're not just, I think sometimes too, I think if you're not sort of incredibly like uptight, you know what I mean? Like in forward facing the people, like people don't see you as being like uptight, that I think they think you just sort of like go with the wind. But no, we don't. Like we really plan things out and engage accordingly. You know what I'm saying? And just like anything else, you build confidence though, right, when you've done other things. So sometimes I think people have to remember when you accomplish whatever it was in the past. That's something that I do as well. And some of that could be little stuff. I remember I was reading something one day, and maybe something you referred me to. But it was like a guy, I think he was like a former military guy. He was saying to get up and make his bed every morning.
Oh yeah.
Was that right?
It may have or may, yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
But anyway, the whole point of it was, at least if nothing else, he starts his day with accomplishing something. Right? That's a task. And then so for the rest of his day, when he needs that sort of like push, he remember, oh, I did that. I got up. I did that. You know what I mean? So like sometimes I think people don't draw from their they have things that they can draw strength from, and they negate it. You know, you can't accomplish, in my opinion, a major goal if you don't accomplish the little goals, but they all matter. So for me, that's a part of my process. Believing it, right? Charting a plan to attack, you know, and then being able to revert or refer to past wins, whether they small or big, to say, man, I can do this. And also, like, lastly, in here, knowing that a process or the process, right, looks different depending on what you're trying to accomplish. And that sometimes, right, long as you're making progress, it could be small, but it matters. We want it all right now. Tomorrow, we want, boom, I want to do this. I set this goal. Man, this should be done by, nah. Just get in the mode of like doing the pursuit. You know what I'm saying? That to me, you have to do that, because everything ain't gonna happen fast. You know what I'm saying? It's just not. Everything has its own process. And somebody told me one time that, you know, that's the definition of success though. Like sticking, you know what I mean? Maintaining through the process. Yeah. It's the only way you're gonna be able to do it.
Sometimes what I've noticed is that there's a gray area between, like when they say, I believe this can happen, sometimes what they're saying is that I hope it happens, or it should happen. Why hasn't it happened, right? Versus I believe it's going to happen. So I know you, but I want you to talk a bit about how the belief changes your actions.
Yeah.
Right? Because you are an author. So now, even before you publish your first book, you charted the path. You began to operate like an author. You had to sit down with Kev and really dedicate time to like writing this thing out.
Correct.
You know what I mean?
Correct. You had to do
yes,
it.
Your dad should be home after serving 34 years, but you had to really sit down and become an advocate versus just hoping that he comes home. And some people are sitting and watching your story like, man, I want my dad to come home, or I want my mom to come home.
Yeah.
But you have to become the thing you want to have happen.
Absolutely.
You know?
Absolutely. And believing in something, meaning that you truly feel as if it can happen, which in turn, for me, you have to start living as if it's to the best of your ability, that you already are there. To your point about the book thing, the author thing, the free Tony Lewis, I had to become, you know what I mean, that example. I had to become the reason that my father should be free. You know what I mean? I had to make who I became made it undeniable that he was worthy of freedom. If he had any part in who I became, that was I think that was the sort of the final check mark in terms of his rehabilitation. Me. You understand his connection to me, his, you know what I mean, his impact on my life. I'm the fruit that fell off his tree. Mm-hmm. Right? I remember doing that one the session with Mike Powell. And it was like, I gotta find the picture, but I took a picture of it was like right there, like 5 things, right? Mm-hmm. One was like winning the Pulitzer for Slug, like the book. I had finished the book, but I hadn't published it yet. You understand what I'm saying? That's how I was looking at what I had created. That's how I felt about it. You understand what I'm saying? Like, want to win a Pulitzer or a National Book Award. That's how I felt about it. I believe that. You know what I'm saying? Like, but that drove when I felt like I should speak at, Maryland University or Michigan or Howard or Harvard or whatever. That my book should be taught in these classes rooms, whether it's Dunbar High School or Howard University. You know what I'm saying? I felt like that, because what that does in terms of how it makes you move is you're operating in a space, and you have what, I like to call belief without evidence, right? Some people call it faith, right? But, and we find that a lot of times we're very familiar with having faith in a higher power. But I also believe what comes along with that, in my opinion, should be a belief in you. You know what I mean? Your power, your innate power that we all possess to manifest things, to put the work in and make things happen that you want to happen. Obviously, it takes work and studying and learning and hearing no. You know what I'm saying? But your belief in making it happen will give you what you need to go through all of these different challenges, and that's the power of believing, because it's not going to be smooth when you really chasing your goals. It's not. But if you believe in it, and the more you believe in it, the more that you'll be able to endure obstacles. But as you endure them obstacles, what I've learned as well, you're also adding to yourself, right? You're learning skill sets that you did not possess prior. Mm-hmm. I think about like your journey, your fitness journey. You know what I'm saying? And the joint starting after we played a basketball game, and then you end up in the damn emergency room, and then Kenny do the little June, what's that, like June 30 May 30-day mile challenge or something. Yeah. You know what I mean? 4 or 5 years ago. And you took that, and think about it though, right? Just saying, man, I'm going to do this. Boom. In 1 month, turned into 2 months, turned into 3 months, turned into 3 years, turned into 4 or 5 years. That's incredible.
Yeah.
But when somebody say, oh, it's cold outside, oh, it's raining, it's hot, but you believing that no matter what's going on out there, your belief in your ability, your belief in the need to do that activity, that you was going to do it. Like, that's something that's like, damn, like Slim really didn't walk every, like 1,000 some days straight.
Yeah, you know what's funny, right? It's funny you mentioned 1,000. It's funny you mentioned temperature, right? The common theme is numbers. And what I've learned is that I think a lot of us focus on the wrong numbers. Right. The number I focus on is the consecutive days of me doing what I got to do.
Yeah.
So honestly, when I started the journey.
Oh, I ain't stopping you. I just want to, the word consecutive.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's so paramount in any pursuit of anything.
Compound effect. It's got a compound. So I focus on that number. And I started this whole process, like you said, around that time when Kenny did the whole 100-mile challenge. And it just so happened I was on paternity leave with Molly. She was like 2 or 3 months old. I was at home with her. I had some time, and I was like, let me get started now. So I utilized that time to really start the momentum. And I did this. I looked myself in the mirror, literally, and I was like, when you go back to work, you're going to be a different person. That was the only thing I said to myself. I never said how many pounds I was going to lose. None of that.
Right.
I just said, you're going to be a different person. And I didn't focus on that number. I've lost over 100 pounds, but I wasn't focused on that number. I was focused on, can you get the 100 miles done of walking in a month? And can you do it consecutively? And I think we focus on the temperature number, whether it's 105 or 5 degrees. We focus on losing 105 pounds. We focus on being a size 28 waist or whatever you want to be, right? Those are the wrong numbers to focus on. Can you X off every day and be like, man, I've done this 25 days in a row. And I know that on day 26, the first 25 days are going to give me the benefit on 26.
Yeah.
Right?
But then, dig, this is the thing. I'm sitting listening to you, right? I had a flashback. When you mentioned Molly, I had a flashback, bro, at the baby shower. The baby shower, you was on your raw diet.
I was.
Do you remember? I remember that.
Yeah, I was. I'm on it now.
Yeah, you on it. Yeah. But through these different processes, though, right? Mm-hmm. These consecutive days, being consistent with you also develop your system. You know what I mean? You learn what work for you, what don't work for you. And I'm saying it was like I'm watching this. You know,
and I was failing then, for the record.
Yeah.
Right, I was stumbling. And then I was able to just continue.
That's what I'm getting. But you never stopped.
Never stop, yeah.
You never stopped though. You like, okay, nah, this ain't, you know what I'm saying? This ain't working this way. This ain't working that way. You know what I mean? But you kept doing it. And people, I think they underestimate consistency.
People say this, right? I hear people have conversations about the inputs versus the outputs, i.e., what you come to the earth with, your DNA, your genetics, right?
Yeah.
And some people, they might try to make some changes for a short period and then blame genetics. And what I'll say to anybody is this, health specific. If you, for 4, 5, 6 straight years, eat correctly and work out, you're not going to not have results.
It's an impossibility.
It's impossible. You just haven't done it long enough.
Yeah.
And you want it to happen in 20 days.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. When I lost my first 50 pounds, I was still wearing the same clothes.
Yeah.
I was wearing the same clothes.
Yeah.
You can literally gain or lose 30 pounds and your wardrobe don't change.
Yeah.
It wasn't until I got to like 50, 60 pounds that people even noticed what was going on.
Right.
Then when it got to like 80, not only was it noticeable, it was like, this is a whole different person.
Yeah.
And that took a while. And I wasn't worried about that. I was just like, how I felt in them emergency rooms, plural. Because I had 3 kidney stone procedures. I had another situation where I never found out what it was, but I was in the hospital throwing up. After 4 or 5 ER visits and like from 16 to like 18, I was like, nah.
You got to make a change.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then it'd be crazy even when we talk about consistency, and it ain't funny, but for real, I'm saying we be consistently doing the shit that's hurting us, right? No matter what you gonna get your results. You gonna get your results, and that ain't just about far as health wise or diet or fitness. I'm saying in life in general. There's a lot of people be wanting positive outcomes, but they be consistently doing nothing. You consistently round your way on that corner. You know what I'm saying? I think it was Plato said, "We are what we repeatedly do."
Yeah.
I live by that. We are what we repeatedly do. You can say what you want about your intention. You know what I'm saying? Who you really are on the inside, but the world gonna look at you. We are what you repeatedly do, and then your outcomes gonna be based on that. And so when you set a goal, right, no matter how lofty it may be or how obtainable it might be at that time, you got to consistently put work in to achieve that. You know what I'm saying? Like get my father free. That's all. But you know what? You can look from the time I came on social media and whatever it was, 2010, 2011. It's been free Tony Lewis since then. You know what I mean? And I know some people, you know it. We know, man, he keep on going with that. Man, he might as well, That was fine. I ain't never been offended by nobody saying nothing like that. Mm-hmm. But again, I believed. And I shook every hand. I made every call. And we talked about, you know what I'm saying, the process on here before, but I did a lot of things. I swallowed my pride over and over and over. I got disrespected over and over and over. But I believed that eventually what happened would happen.
And you didn't hashtag your way to that either.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you mentioned Twitter, but I want to be clear on that.
Yeah, sure. That's what I was saying. I went to every meeting, shook every, yeah. And served others, which honestly was the biggest anchor. It wasn't just talk. It was action. You know what I mean? But just utilizing social media as a tool and putting it in people's consciousness. But when people didn't necessarily believe, when the support wasn't necessarily there, me being unwavering in my pursuit is what brought people along. You know what I mean? So when people start talking about setting goals and accomplishing them, I watch Rodney and them do Dimension Sports.
Yeah.
I watch KJ, not just with relentless management, but I watch him literally dream manifest. I watched it. I saw the first renderings. When he was in the NBA class, I went for a whiteboard session with him and one of the other people that was in the NBA class with him. I watched him go get his MBA. Yeah. Matter of fact, I watched him get his BA.
From dropping out to doing that.
A lot of people don't understand that. KJ didn't have a BA in 2013 or something. Yeah. He went to Rutgers, dropped out. He went back, got his BA, then went and got his MBA. I watched that though. I watched him set the goal and say, one day me and him sat on a couch in his house and said, bro, we're going to do this, we're going to do this, we're going to do this.
I saw the picture that you posted.
Yeah, bro, we really did that. Like, bro, this is what we about to do.
Talk about because, again, me knowing you personally, I've never known you to be a big sort of like write things down kind of person. So when you talked about the Mike Powell thing, that kind of threw me a little bit. And you said after you wrote it down, you saw they all kind of came to fruition.
Yeah, some of
them, right?
Yeah,
some are still in the works.
Bro, it's crazy because one of them. Think of how far it was. One was like meet Obama. I ain't met Obama yet.
Yeah,
but that was on my list. Yeah, meet Obama, or but the meeting with Obama was really about trying to free Tony Lewis at that
which
time.
Still ended up happening.
Which crazy, right? But I still would like to, sit down with Barack and say, man, what's up? You been in my town a long time.
You never check in. You never check in.
Check in, man. What's going on? But I'm not. But again, what I was mentioning about watching with Roddy, watching KJ, watch you. I also have picked up tools from y'all that think places where I'm weak. I'm not the most organized person. Never have been. You know what I'm saying? I married an organized person though. So
Jazz,
yeah, you hear me?
Chefs.
Them chefs. Yeah. I married. That helps me. But for real, that help. And I've made a conscious effort to get better where I'm weak. You know what I mean? We all got our strengths and our weaknesses. And sometimes, you know what, I've also, as I get older, some of the things that we call our weaknesses really aren't our, or don't have to be our weaknesses. We just don't like doing them. Right? And so, you know what I mean? So we say that, but like, I can't, because what I mean is sometimes you have the capacity or the competency to do certain things. You just don't like doing it.
All of it's muscle, and whatever muscle you work on, you will get strong.
There you go, bro.
Yeah, all of it's
there
muscle.
There you go, bro.
Yeah.
And matter of fact, let me tell you something, man. Something that happened night before last. So Isabella, you know, they got homework package that they turn in on Tuesdays. I think it is. Yeah. So this might be Monday night. So she had these fraction questions. She in 4th grade. So I'm like, "Where your homework?" She like, "Yeah, well, I tried to do it, but mommy told me, you know, she couldn't explain it to me, so, you know, don't worry about it." I said, "What is it, right?" She like, "It's fractions, right?" So Jess look at me like, "It's fractions." Like, dang. Like, I'm like, "Yeah, okay, let me see it." Like, I'm not an imbecile, you know what I'm saying? But math is her strong suit and not mine, right? Jess, right? She's a numbers per finance, you know, all that.
Right.
So she telling me, you know, and I couldn't, you know, because I couldn't explain it to her what she understood. I said, "Let me see it, though." You know what I mean?
So Jess knew the answer, she just couldn't articulate.
To Izzy, in a way, yeah.
I said, but 4th grade, 5th grade?
Yeah, 4th grade.
Yeah.
I'm like, "Man, hold up. Let me see what they do, right?" Boom. I said, "Oh, I got this." Now, I hated math, but again, what my point is, I didn't like math. It wasn't that I couldn't necessarily do it. Do you know what I'm saying? But for my kid, right? For my kid,
there's a character
I'm a figure that's right. Yeah, and we got that done. And I told him, "I don't never say nothing like that in front of my youngin', man. I know." Don't tell me what I can't do, but don't never do that, man. Don't do that. It's like, no, but I got that done because it was a different motivation for me than when I was in, you know, whatever, in school. You feel what I'm saying? And I feel like that about me being organized. So, but when I watch it, and now they got a different reasoning. So, Tone, you gotta. I can like see why I should be more organized.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying now? And the plus, particularly as you get more on your plate. So I'm more motivated to be organized because I see the pay value in being organized, or, you know, networking, returning calls, sending follow-up emails, sending temperature emails, what I like to call it, like, or check-ins. I might somebody a contact or somebody you know, you ain't heard from them, you ain't seen them in a minute, just shoot a, you know, text to me is even much more of an easier lift. You know, "Hey, what's up, mom? Just checking in, man. You know, sending some energy where you good." I learned that from watching other people around me and implement that into how I do things. You understand what I'm saying? Those are I think those are the benefits of having, you know, like, I know, and every time we get over, we talk, but it's the truth. Like, like with Angel, it's like to understand that, you know, nothing is like off the table. Like, ain't nothing impossible. Make the eggs. Set up the meeting. You know what I mean? Like, do that. You know, make the eggs, or don't like have certain non-negotiables. You understand what I'm saying? You go in there understanding certain things. You just, you know, you're not accepting. You know what I mean? You glean that, you learn that, you pull that, and I hope that people, in terms of us and our transparency on this platform or just in general, I hope y'all pull that. Like, put that into you make it your own, but you put that in your repertoire. You know what I mean? There were things in terms of in your ability to achieve the goals that you set for yourself. Look at those that, you know what I mean? People that achieve shit. How else you gonna know that? You know?
Okay, we're talking now about drawing inspiration from friends. You mentioned a couple of scenarios where you were, you know, a fly on the wall, watching people map out what would eventually come to fruition, right? What are your thoughts on, or do you have reluctancy to share any things that you're working on? Because some people say don't share your goals ahead of time.
My thing, that's a great question, bro. I think it depends. First of all, though, I feel like if you ain't around people you can share your dreams with, you need to get you some new people to be around.
That's a fact.
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But I do believe if you know, because there's dream killers out here. See, I'm the type, I'm fortified. I always fortify myself from the dream killers. So I'm going to share my shit because you can't tell me what I'm trying to do ain't going to work. But for some people, they not that strong. So I would advise, be careful who you not, but I don't look at it like be careful who you share your ideas with because people steal it. Can't nobody steal my idea.
Yeah, because they ain't worked as long.
It ain't theirs.
Yeah, it ain't
theirs. I really believe that. Yeah. They can take it and do a version. There's some things out here I feel like is a version, that has happened to me before. But it's
we'll put a pin in that. We're gonna come back to that real quick. No. Keep going. Okay. That particular thing we're gonna put a pin in.
But I'm just saying, I feel like your dream, your goal, not a goal, your goal. Can't nobody take that from you. But I would caution people to be careful who you share things with for the sake of just like negative energy. Like, you don't need that. If you ain't nobody that can help you with your dream, I don't know why you sharing it with them anyway. You feel what I'm saying?
So, a couple of things. I don't know if we talked about this on camera or if he said this after we finished recording, but when we talked to Kwame Brown, he mentioned that, now in his post-political career, people come to him when they are considering running. And he made a statement, he may have said it off camera, but he said, now you got to understand, you can't come to me to get verification on whether or not you should do it.
Yeah, that's right.
Come to me telling me you're doing it.
That's right. I remember him
saying
that.
That's number one.
That's number one.
Right? Like, you shouldn't, if you're going to share your dream with somebody, share it as if you're already in the process 100%. Of doing it, not you're trying to get them to stamp it.
Yep.
That'll X out some of the pessimistic people.
Correct.
Other thing I tend to do, once I think it's bulletproof, I purposely will share with a pessimistic person. Because if they can drill a hole in it, it ain't ready.
Yeah, I like that.
And the one thing I've learned recently, I saw this quote that said, most ideas are good, they're just not done. And so a lot of times we're not putting enough time into the idea.
Correct.
We'll wake up tomorrow, want to start a nonprofit, and expect every council member to take our meeting.
Yeah, for sure.
The mayor got to meet with me.
Yeah, with me. He ain't
tomorrow.
Done nothing. He ain't done a thing. But in part of I think the resiliency that it takes to bring these things to existence, right? Is again back to the belief in it. Because if you don't have the right belief in it, when you do come up against some pushback, we see people do it all the time, Or we talked about folks on here before too, where you see them all the time, then all of a sudden you don't. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because in many cases, whatever they were looking to do, whatever they were shooting, it didn't happen fast enough. You know what I mean? They weren't committed to it. They didn't put in those consecutive days at it. Enough consecutive days to make things happen. And one of the things that I've learned, something that we would say is difficult. There's a lot of things that are difficult, but they're not impossible. So I feel like anything that's not impossible, like anything that's a possibility, I'm with it. Let's go. You know what I mean? That's most things. You understand what I'm saying? Like, for real. And I really see the world that way. I don't even know what I consider to be impossible, honestly. Some people call me a dreamer, you know what I mean? And I don't see that as a bad thing. But also I know that a lot of times when people consider things to be impossible, it's more about how they see themselves, not the thing. Not the thing. And it's like, okay, that it may take a lot to do something. It may take a lot of resources, a lot of money, a lot of time. Right? You ain't get no pushback on me from that. But to say that it can't happen, you gotta be like, why? Like, why not? And you gotta have people also around you that will challenge you to see the world differently. You know, and I know one of the things that people fall victim to that you also got to push back on, I feel. Because people will come and tell you what they think your goals should be. Tell you what you should be doing. Sometimes they'll do that because they feel like if you do that goal, it's going to help them with one of their goals.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? And yeah, I don't be trying to hear that though. You can't tell me what I should be doing, or if you was me, I would be doing this. Well, but you're not.
I'm laughing. I'm laughing the way I'm laughing because literally on one of your posts recently, I saw somebody leave a comment trying to convince you to do something, and they was basically like, "See, you just can't see the vision. I can see it for you."
Yeah. That's crazy. Like, you know what I'm saying?
They probably meant well, but
I know they did.
It was just funny to me.
Yeah, but it's real. I get mad be that a lot though. Like,
you just can't see it.
Also, but you know what, right? This is what happens. Yeah, because their thought is that you can't see it. Because if you saw what I saw, then you'll definitely be doing that. But it's like, why? Why that? Why you think that it ain't nothing, greater than that? I'm looking past that. You think that how you think I don't know?
Yeah. I will say this though, in to reverse the argument a little bit, there is a value in putting yourself in someone's shoes as they watch you, if that makes sense.
Yeah, like it does. What's the joint? The Johari window?
Yeah,
right.
That's
right. Like
yeah.
your eyes look that way.
Yeah.
You see what everybody else see.
Yeah.
Right. Then there's a part of you that other people can see what you can't.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
I had a
Forgot
homie.
the other. It's like 4 panes.
Yeah, it's 4. Yeah. I had a homie hit me. He was he locked up and he needed me to do something for somebody on his behalf. Right. He'd been gone for a long time, so like his understanding of what's going on today is a little jaded just because he's away.
Sure.
And I had to respond to him and tell him I can't do that thing you want me to do, right? It's just not something that's feasible. And when I responded, I felt really bad.
Yeah, of course.
And then I sat back and I thought about it, and I was like, from his perch, he think my hand can call for anything because that's how he see me.
Yeah.
Right?
Sure.
But then it made me stop and be like, well, how much more can I really do that I might be shortchanging myself on? Maybe not that thing he asked me to do. But maybe there's a longer boundary I can create for what the limitation may be versus what I've set it for myself. And I sat with that the last couple of weeks since having that encounter.
That's deep. And I be there a lot. But also, I think people sometimes don't understand what it takes to do certain things, and that sometimes a person may not do something not because they don't think that they can, but like long term it might not be in their best interest to do so.
With the Pyrrhic victory?
You know what I mean? Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. You know what I mean? It appears to be a win, but really long term you lose, and really, I think about I think of myself as a strategic thinker, and sometimes I question: am I too strategic? Has my life, which called for me to be that way in order to like literally survive, but so in some ways it's become certainly a skill, right? A benefit, but does it hinder me sometimes? Am I too strategic? Am I too analytical? Right? Do I think too deeply about certain things? If I do this, then this gonna happen. This, you know what I'm saying? But I don't. And then it's as far as again back to those sometimes too, for people. I've never been one to move on the motion, right? Or try not to move on emotion, right? But the motion meaning like if the momentum is going in a certain way, if my gut not in it, my heart not in it, you know what I mean? I'm really big on that. If somebody else's heart is in it, that's fine. But if my heart, I can't move on something for me that somebody else is passionate about. It just don't work that way. Because again, because I have to believe in it. Back to the, you know what I mean? If I don't believe in it, but I'm like, yeah, but this, you know what I mean? But do I believe in it? You know, is it in my heart? And so for certain things that people may say, man, damn, Slim, you know, how many times we done heard, oh, damn, we'll just call you, man. You can just do this, or you should just, man, boy, if I had your hand, I know you would.
Yeah, but how long would you have that
That's
hand?
it. Hello.
I had this hand for a long time because of that.
It's because of that.
Yeah.
That's why I got the hand I got. Because I'm not calling on whoever.
Yeah.
I'm not putting my interest always at the forefront.
Now, let me ask you, though. When do you make the call? Because there are people out here who like, man, you know, I ain't trying to bug Tony. I know you busy. You know, I know
when
Silas.
You ready to go.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? I feel like, because ain't nothing worse than, something just happened to me, like literally yesterday. Literally. The outcome happened yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody put in a call to me to help someone. I was in a position to put in a call to somebody to help that person. I did that. That person embarrassed me.
Yesterday? Dang.
You see what I'm saying? But the person, well, two people called me about this to help the person. Right? The second person, I'm not mad at either one of them. They was trying to help somebody, right? I get that. But my thing is, before you call, this is my point. Before you call me though, somebody that you know what I'm saying, that you know my integrity level, you know our relationship, you know what I mean? Before you call me, I think you don't call me just because you can. That's my point. You say, damn, is it really, should I call Tone about this guy? Maybe a good dude. No disrespect to the dude, but is he ready for what I'm calling Tone for?
Yeah, and it's like,
you feel me? You don't spend that favor. You got to be very selective on certain things.
Yeah, I think that sort of scenario is clearer coming from a different environment. If you know that your big brother is very volatile and violent, and you get into an altercation, you ain't gonna tell Big Bro because you know Big Bro gonna go the whole way. Yeah. We understand those examples, right?
Yep.
I think in the professional world,
get a little skewed.
We get skewed, and we don't understand the weaponry that people have professionally to make things move, and how you got to be ready to move when that person gets involved. It's now going to go at a different speed.
Facts. And then when you call, but then part of me is like, but that's why you call. That's what I'm saying. You don't call on nobody that you know and for you, based on the relationship y'all got. A person gonna try, you know what I'm saying, look out for your person. But then at least do that with somebody that you know, right? That's what I mean, that's ready to do what they, you know what I mean? Yeah, because it really, and that's so for me, I'm very selective on when I, make certain calls. You know what I'm saying? Even in times where I probably could have called him, like I got something that I'm working around in my mind for when we go out to the Super Bowl. You know what I mean? It may be it's a call I want to make that I'm gonna make. I think. Cause I also don't never be trying to be looked at as wild or, you know what I mean? I'm funny about that. I come from I'm not, listen, man, I ain't. But anyway, it's all good. I think that it's a call I'm gonna make because I'm gonna try my hand on something. But again, this the ace in the hole. Boom. I hold them joints for the tussle because my thing is in this situation, I'll be in a if what my goal is, right? Mm-hmm. If it works out the right way, I'll be in space. I'll be right there too, right? It ain't set up a call or meeting. Nah. I'm gonna be. All I need you to do is get me with y'all. You know what I'm saying? And we gonna be right there together. You know what's up? I'm here because I'm here. I mean, I'm in the same space, right? The same
doing the legwork.
The legwork
they
been
ain't
done.
gotta do
That's
no
what I'm
work.
saying. And that's right. Because I'm saying is the same call that I'm gonna make then, I could make now. I could make tonight. But I wouldn't be able to, we couldn't, you see what I'm saying? So that is that kind of thing that I think is important. I'm not telling people to not to make them calls, call in your favors or make, you know what I'm saying? Do that. But be ready. The other thing is, man, bruh, listen. And this is a small example. But I learned a lot. The first Hot 97 interview I did with Rosenberg and Ebro and them, every other radio interview that I had done up until that point, like local radio, whatever the case may be, and whatever. I had done some things. People ask you stuff like, oh, real well, we about to get started. Hey, man, is anything we can't ask you? Hey, put these headphones on, test your levels. You know what I mean? That's like standard. They told me put the headphones on. I put the headphones on. Boy, Ebro got to just going. And I thought he was like testing the mic. Yeah, we here, Rosenberg, Lord Styles. We here with special guest Tony Lewis Jr. I'm sitting there like.
Can I tell you something though? I always tell you this. I think that's like, at the time, it was definitely your best interview ever, right?
Yeah.
It still stands up there. When I watched that joint, I was like, man, this dude, he don't miss.
Yeah, I appreciate
that. But not even knowing that was. But you were ready.
I was
ready.
That's what I'm getting.
Just ready.
At,
yeah.
I was ready though. But that joint told me you stay ready.
Yeah, stay ready.
Be ready. All them times running through interviews when I'm driving by myself in my car. You understand what I'm saying? When I'm in the shower, thinking about, damn, they asked me this preparation. I think I'm nuts, but this is because he went right into it, bro. They said what's up when I walked in the studio, and he shake their hand. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because guess what? On that stage, that's lights, camera, action. You feel where I'm at? And if you watch that, and if you watch the my first Breakfast Club interview, I jumped right on that. Cause I was in my mind like, oh, I'm gonna tell her. I don't care what they ask. I'm gonna tell her because I know how it go. You understand? But my point is, stay ready. But you asking, you hitting people, and I'm using them examples because I've reached out to them on Twitter. You know what I mean? I think Pusha wound up really giving sense on Rosenberg that got me on there for real. But even with Charlamagne on Twitter, then he went down to the FIU. And saw Kenny, and Kenny brought me up, and they called me on the phone. And then the next thing, the producer called me, like, come up, be ready. Because sometimes we be talking about all what we want. This my goal. But when your goal, when the opportunity comes, that's the other side of goal setting. You know what I mean? Will you like rise to the occasion? Mm-hmm. You understand? But the reps, the practice, the research, the doing of the work, because can't nobody like. If you bring me anywhere to ask me what I do every day, really, that's what, you know what I'm saying? I'm coming to tell you what, I'm not telling you what I'm pontificating. So I do this, you know what I'm saying? And like, and just real quick, I just think it's important too. Like, again, bro, like from Heart of the City to career changes, I watch you say, bro, this is what I'm going to do. This the path. You know what I'm saying? This is how I'm going to do it. This is, you know what I mean? And being able to like, and do it effortlessly because, why though? We've done things before. You know what I mean? And we in a, and thankfully, right? Because I know everybody don't have this. But it was once upon a time we didn't necessarily have it. But you find your tribe where you're around people that you can borrow from, that you can lean on, whatever the case may be. And that's what also happens. Like-minded people find each other. Yeah. You know what I mean? So some people are in ruts or in situations in friend groups where they don't feel like everybody on the same page as them. And it prevents them from their pursuit.
Let me say something real quick. I was telling Josh Dyson this one day. We were walking together. What's up, we? We were walking together, and he's younger than us by like 15 years or so. And I said to him, if nobody in your circle is doing something that's positive or something that's going to take them to the next level, that doesn't mean that it doesn't exist. There are other groups where everybody's doing it. Yeah. Like the pockets, the silos are real.
Yeah, yeah.
So if you like, man, I'm trying to get my crew to go this way. If you can't change your friends, you gotta change your friends.
You gotta change your friend. And that don't mean that you ain't their friend no more.
Yeah, but you gotta start spending more time.
Spend more. You can't.
I guarantee you, anything you want to get into, there's some group out here.
It's a community out here for you.
It's a community out here for you. Yeah, exactly.
That's real.
Yeah.
And some of us find that by happenstance. But you know, in today's world, though, you really can be much more intentional about that.
Yeah. I don't think I even hang with nobody that don't do community sort of work.
Yeah, I know. It just
I don't really hang with nobody that don't do that.
But also, what I'm saying, but you know what's interesting, right? I feel like if I'm saying, if a nigga hang around you enough,
he gonna do it.
Yeah, he just outside. I'm trying to help you outside. What you doing? You know what I'm saying?
I ain't gonna lie. I thought about that the other day. You know how many people I know now that walk, that modified their food intake?
What, like only eating one time a day? I'm just
they figured out something, right?
Nah, for real.
And I thought about that. I was like, Dad, you know what, low key, it's people around me that's changing because I.
Hey fam, listen. If I asked you as a species, right, Homo sapiens, right, that's what we are, right. What allowed us to like leave out of Africa and like basically inhabit the earth? What would you say if I said tell me two things that allowed us to do that?
Collaboration, one, definitely. And I would say courage.
Okay. And I mean, I see those two things as kind of being intertwined.
Okay.
But that's the main thing. Like, human beings are naturally cooperative, meaning, right? Like, it's in our DNA. It's like part of what we are. And we may think, but we can go against, but we really do cooperate very well with each other. So when you're around something, you know what I'm saying? When you're around something, your girl start talking like you and all. We are naturally cooperative. It ain't even, this is something that we do like just on some natural type tip. So people being around you and you're a walking result. You might embody the result, like, yo, because they know you. They like, man, what are you doing? You know, people be calling me, asking me what you doing. I be telling people you sick.
You smoking.
Yeah. I said, man, we ain't got a whole lot of time with y'all.
Little do they know, that might be true, but it ain't true. I might be out of here, California somewhere.
Man.
I'll be not too long, but
I'm telling you, I'm like, nah, why? My man doing what it take. My man not playing. Like, yeah, I see. No, seriously. Look, in a literal sense, right, in a figurative sense, your walk really is inspiring people, bro. Like your walk, right?
I remember, man. I remember talking to Valerie, and you know, so I've done 75 hard 4 times now. This is my 4th time.
Yeah.
I've been walking for 5 years, almost in a row. 5 years worth of days in a row. And I remember a period we had a conversation where she was just like, you know what, we can't both do this. And I ain't say nothing. I'm just listening to her talk. She like, you know, you really adamant about it. We build our schedules to make sure you're able to get the walks in and do all the other things you do health-wise and all that. And she was just like, I don't think a household with 2 people raising a kid that we can do this. And I'm proud to say, I can't say I'm proud of her.
Yeah.
That now she over a year straight of walking herself.
Yeah.
Because what happened was collaboration. She made that statement, but I was being so consistent. She was like, man, I got to do it. So now she over a year in
made
with her
her
walks.
believe maybe we can.
Yeah, and this cold, she been out there too. The rain, she been out there too. I'm proud of her, for real.
Fact. Shout out to Valerie Grant.
Yeah.
You hear me? Nah, but you see what I'm saying? And now, but that also, I mean, again, bro, I'm telling you, man, that reverberates, right? And again, I was saying that in a joke, but for real, I've had people, man, what's up, man? What's Silas doing, man? Damn, man, Silas look good as shit, or da-da-da-da. Like, what he doing? Because that's the thing. It's like, but it's always something like, so they want you to say, oh, yeah, he on something, you know, just something that's fast.
You know what a lady told me one day? I went in the corner store. She was like, so I go in the store, everybody in there, you know, getting stuff in and out, speaking to everybody. when it died down a little bit after I finally grabbed what I was gonna get out the store, she was like, basically like, was you locked up or something?
Yeah, you got.
And I was like, I'm not gonna say her name over here, but I was like, are you serious?
Yeah, but like, wait, cause that's the only thing that happened in our neighborhood.
Yeah.
Must have just came home. Slim went in, man.
Skin
got it
clear.
glad, skin, got it glow, skin clear, all that. Got himself
I
together.
was like, are you serious, man?
Side with it, got himself together, man. With the program.
Went down Wagga Hut. Went down the hut and got right.
But nah, that's powerful for real, bro. Because again, though, if you told somebody he been walking for every day for 5 straight years, that's gonna make a person, oh nah, shit, I can't do that. What you mean? What I said, he been walking. You know what I'm saying? Change up the way he eat.
But you know what though? All you have to do is start.
There you go.
I remember it was 4th of July. The first month or two I was walking, and we drove separately. Valerie came after I came to my sister and my brother-in-law's house. And I hadn't got my walk in that day yet. And I left the shoes at home that I normally walk in. And I had been walking so consistently that she brought them Jones without telling me. And she like, I got your shoes in the car. The world starts to shape around you when you just commit that I'm going to do it.
What? Consistency.
When
you consistently do something, you become what you repeatedly do. And everybody know that it's on you unwavering in, so they got to respect it.
It's people that want to catch up with me sometimes. They be like, you done your walk today yet?
Yeah.
Because they know that's how they can get with me.
Yeah. Because they know you going to do that. If you haven't done it, they know you're going to do it. So they like, yo.
I haven't done my walk today. It's going to be done tonight.
Yeah. No matter what.
No matter what. When we leave here, I'm going to do my walk.
Wow. See, I don't even be trying to do that. But but I was, you know what I mean? But you know, I get in my mode.
There you get.
I get in my mode, you know what I'm saying? But again, it's helpful when you know, boom, I know Slim out. I mean, I think about it's crazy too, that like, I'm being facetious because really, that ain't really, 3-4 years ago, I mean, you crazy. But that ain't really wild to me because I've done that. You know what I mean? We've been on 70. I've done that in this, you know what I'm saying? This weather. I know how to dress for it. I know you know what I'm saying? But all that came from that you was doing it.
You saw somebody that was doing it.
You feel where I'm at? Yeah. And so, if nothing else, again, for everybody out there, that's why we have these conversations, for you to know if it's anything that you thought that was impossible or too lofty, or you don't know nobody that's done certain things. You know what I mean? We want to be able to not only use us, but even in people we know that have done things that really on his face was like improbable, impossible. You know what I'm saying? Angel just celebrated her 1-year anniversary of Black and Forth. You know, we've talked about our sister Angel on this show. We've talked about the Spice Suite. We talked about Black and Forth. But I just want to raise that up, that she celebrated her 1-year anniversary. And again, it's something that was, to many people, would have been an impossibility, bro. When you see things like that, it's like, how can I want to do something and then say, oh, but, you know what I mean? Nah. Ain't no but. We going to figure it out.
She going to make you say no.
Yeah. Yeah.
She not going to say no for you.
Yep.
You going to have to say no. And the vision is there. I was reading this book recently, and it's like a quote from It's a quote from somebody who worked with Walt Disney. Mm-hmm. And Walt Disney died before this particular advancement of Disney World occurred, right? And the person was standing there, I guess, at the grand opening and said, man, I wish Walt Disney were here to see this. And the person standing next to them said he saw it.
Did it. Yeah, he saw it.
He saw it. That's why it's here.
That's why it's here.
He already saw it.
Hello.
So you have to really see a Black and Forth. You have to see a manifest. You have to see these things, right? You got to see a Slug. You got to see the Emmy, the Oscar. You got to see that.
Real.
It has to already be playing out in your mind, but you have to also see what it takes too, and start doing what it takes.
Start doing what it takes. 100%, bro. 100%. And meeting, I think the whole foundation thing of this conversation too, for people, I want them to really understand this, that no other person. It'll be other people that will be around and that will help and collaborate, right? But nobody else holds the key to your goal. So all this obsessing over getting in this room or meeting this, yeah, that might be helpful, but it ain't gonna work if it ain't in you. If you have not put in the work, you know what I'm saying? If you're not ready, you know what I'm saying? People put all this time in if I just met, you know what I'm saying? If I just got in front of, you know what I'm saying? This ain't Shark Tank, bro. And even for people that go on Shark Tank, if people watch that show, do you ever listen to all the work that those people put in prior to getting there? That's what that show is about. They not coming grabbing people that ain't got no proof of concept, no past performance, right? Like, that's not how things work. They're gonna invest because you've invested. So do the work. You know what I'm saying? Those actually, I believe in life for real time. Them people gonna find you. You gonna be shaking the earth so much it's gonna be impossible. You know what I'm saying? Like, for people not to find you. And people sometimes look at you, can't see you yet. I've been there.
Let me say this. And I'm a end on this from my perspective. You can provide some other remarks too, but I just want to say this real quick, man. The whole back then they didn't want me, now they on me mentality that we have.
Yeah.
I want to really address that because a lot of times we hold animosity because when we weren't where we are now, people didn't want us. But even from wherever you sit, if you felt like your value wasn't high, you only were attracted to things you saw as being valuable. So why would somebody be attracted to what you're doing if it ain't valuable to them, at least at this point?
Listen, bro. People only see you if you pose a threat or pay value. And that's natural. We all are like that. To your point, we're all like that. I've never had no resentment of, well, I'm here now. Y'all like, I mean, even down to like that Mike Jones line, right? Which was all, that's always in reference to like girls and all that, right? Yeah. But at the end of the day, even in that, she just might not like you at the time or be involved. And that's the same thing with people. Like, at the time, it's not personal. You, at that particular time, you ain't their cup of tea. That's what I'm saying. Keep at it. You don't resent that person. You might collaborate with that person down the line. You know what I'm saying? I've had that experience 100 times over. You know what I mean? Well, I remember, but guess what? To your point, people probably had that same feeling about me. Not feeling, but like experience with me. You know what I mean? And then sometimes, for real, sometimes, and people may don't want to hear, sometimes you ain't did enough to have a conversation with certain people. It was certain things, certain times, and I'm glad, again, I wasn't ready. I thought I was. I wanted to have these conversations. I thought that having that conversation but guess what? Sometimes, like, I would have had that conversation back then. I wouldn't have had enough to offer. Right? The conversation wouldn't have went as far as the conversation to go today, or when these certain things have happened.
Yeah, $500,000 for Jay-Z dinner.
Exactly.
Yeah, what you gonna take?
Which one you gonna take? Yeah. And if you sat down with Jay-Z, you know what I mean, what would y'all talk about? Right? I'm just saying, to people, now maybe taking the 500 and going and building something, and you'll just bump into Jay-Z at a restaurant somewhere, and y'all might, you get what I'm saying? So it's like, it's that kind of thing that I think people just gotta, but all that is veiled in my opinion, people thinking that all it takes is I meet somebody, right? I always remember, Drake got a line about meeting Wayne or something. He said he probably wouldn't remember or something like that. I thought that was a deep line. I remember it. But he Lil Wayne. Obviously they wind up, he signed Wayne. I mean, Wayne signed him, and the rest is history, blah, blah, blah. But just think about that. At that time, though, that meeting meant so much to him. But Wayne was just another person probably at that particular time. A person that he would later, have be such a big part of his career. But that's how the world works, bruh. You know what I mean? Is somebody an asshole just because they don't meet you and take you in and become your best friend the first time they meet you? No. Like, they ain't got nothing going on, and especially people that have so much going on. You know what I'm saying? Nobody, I don't believe that anybody should like disrespect anybody or, you know, dismiss somebody. That ain't what I'm saying. But at the end of the day, you can't take things personal in your journey to achieving your goals. That would be my advice.
Yeah. Well, man, I think 2024 is off to a good start.
No question.
We're about 17 days in. For anybody that's watching, listening to this, the year is yours. And you got a bunch of time in front of you. How you use it will determine what the outcome will be. Stay encouraged. Chart out the path. Believe. Do the work.
Be consistent.
Be consistent. You know, that a lot of times we think it's magic, but it's really just systems.
Yeah.
Just that consistency of doing those things. Map it out.
And get some more friends. Better friends. We ain't with that, all that, no new friends. I ain't get some new friends.
You know, it's funny. We could go another hour about this, but that's a very good point. Learning it. I think sometimes we hope to luck up and get the right friends, but it's a skill in building friends. One, building friendships, but then two, investing in your friends to build them to be the friends you need them to be for whatever you're trying to do.
Facts. Yeah.
You know, because a part of, it's interesting, like we talk about working out, eating right, you know, making sure we got our plans together for our kids, for our spouses. But like, I know in our circle, we work out for each other too. Like, I can't have y'all coming to visit me in a nursing home at like 60.
Yeah, there's no question, bro.
And I told a lot of my friends in the last 6 months, bro, you got to get it together or we can't hold each other back.
Yeah, it's a lot more to this thing. We got a lot more work to do.
We got a lot more. So, like, that's...
we got a lot more work to do.
You know, we always talk about doing the right thing for our kids and our spouses, but do the right thing for your tribe, too.
That's right. We need you.
We need you. So,
100%.
You know, your goals are important. Your presence is important. Your existence is important. And you cannot exist in this world and act as if you don't have a contribution to give. And whatever you choose to give it.
Yeah.
Your gifts will make room for you.
Tell me.
Well, we thank you guys for watching us as always. Go to our YouTube page, like, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment, share it. Also, leave some comments about what your goals are for the year. We want to hear from y'all in that regard and see what y'all working on. And then by the end of the year, we want to see it come to fruition.
Fact.
So with that, as always, peace and love.
Heart of the city.